Hey everyone, Templar74 here with another video, and today's video is going to be my annual hashtag AskTemplar74 mid-year Q&A for 2019. That's right everybody, this is the video where I go through and answer all of the questions you guys left me on the mid-year Q&A announcement video that I posted earlier in the week, and this is also a time where I get to interact with the fans and also answer some of your questions, some relating to Pokemon, some relating to Yu-Gi-Oh!, some just relating to life in general. And with that being said, and at risk of further rambling, let's get on to the actual video. But before I answer your questions, I do want to say that I have the announcement video pulled up on my phone, and I'm just going to be reading the questions in order that I see them. I'm not paying anybody more attention than most. I'm not picking anybody at random. There's no favoritism here. I'm just reading the questions as they're appearing in the comments section. So yeah, with that, let's get on to answering the questions. First off, we have Minor Mole, and you asked me two questions, Minor. First question you've asked me was, what got me to start doing these Q&A videos? And then you also asked me, do I plan on getting Sword and or Shield or no? So great questions, Minor. First off, the Q&A videos, what got me to start doing them was the fans. I have a lot of fans, a lot of subscribers, a lot of readers. You guys are all awesome. You guys help me so much. You support me so much. It's amazing. And I basically wanted to do these videos because I thought it'd be a fun way to interact with all of my fans, viewers, and commenters, and just get to answer some of your guys' questions, give you time, feedback to you guys who have done so much for me and continue to inspire me to create stuff for you guys. And you guys are all awesome. I can't stress that enough. And these videos, they're for you. And I decided to do them not just once, but twice a year. Once in mid-year, so in June. The second one at the end of the year in December. And like I said, these are just a way for me to reach out and interact with all of you guys that have been so great to me, to show my appreciation, and to just interact with you guys, answer some questions, and some not relating to anime, some relating to real life. It's just a good way to interact with my fans, and you guys are all awesome and deserve it, and that's why I do these videos, Minor, so I hope that answered your question. Now, as for your second question on whether I planned on getting Sword and or Shield or no, it goes without saying, it's the first main Pokemon game on the Switch. It's the first of a new generation. Of course, I'm going to get the games. I'm probably going to end up getting both of them. Now, I normally don't do that because when a new game season comes out or a new series comes out, a new generation, I guess, when it comes out, I usually get one or the other, and then the next game, if it's a remake, or if it's not a remake, I get the other one. Like with Sun and Moon, I got Sun the first time around, and then I got Ultra Moon the second time around. Because this is the start of not only a new generation, it's a new start of a new era with Pokemon, main generation Pokemon games on the Switch, I'm probably going to end up getting both of them. I'm probably going to go in and get the double pack just to clarify that right now, for lack of better words. I'm planning on getting the double pack, so I'm going to end up getting both of them. Now, whether both of them actually get played or not is a different question because there's so much going on in life. I doubt I'd have the time to get them both done. Yeah, I'm going to get the twin pack. I'll probably start off with Sword over Shield, but we'll just have to wait and see for that. But I do plan on getting the twin pack when Shield and Sword comes out. So with all of that, Minor, those are your questions, and I hope I answered them. And again, thank you so much. You're amazing. Alright, next we have Devil Pain. And Devil, your question is, by any chance do I know the name for protagonist on Sword and Shield game? If, and I mean if, Sword and Shield anime is finally live, is there a chance a new character and not Ash will be the main hero? So Devil, great question. To answer the first part of it, no, I do not know the name of the protagonist for Shield and Sword yet, as those have not been confirmed. We've gotten the names of some of the characters so far out of the games. Those are not them. So without them being confirmed, I do not know the answer to that. If they have been mentioned, I did not catch it, and you guys can fact check me that in the comment section of the video. But as far as I know, they have not been announced, so no, I don't know. And then to answer the second part of your question, if Sword and Shield anime is finally live, is there a chance a new character and not Ash will be the main hero? To be honest with you, as much as I'd love to see that happen, realistically, I don't think it's going to happen. Pokemon has developed a concept here where they keep Ash and they keep recycling him throughout each generation. They replace a few of the protagonists, send Ash to a new region, follow the region adventure that's set out in the games, and that's been their dynamic since day one. Ash is also named after the namesake of the company, Satoshi Tajiri in Japan. I don't see any likelihood in the near future that they would replace him, but I do stand by this, and I say it today, I still stand by it. If they were going to swap Ash out, it was at the end of Gen 6. That was the best time to do it. And since they didn't do it then, I doubt they're going to do it now. Yeah, I think the time has passed to do that, no matter how much I'd like to see it happen. Some animes do different concepts where they go multi-generational. The big one that I can think of off the top of my head is Yu-Gi-Oh!, where they go through each new generation, gets its own storyline, its own adventure, its own protagonists. Pokemon chose to do it a separate way, so as a marketing concept and a marketing value, I don't see that happening. However, because of all the controversy with Sword and Shield at its launch and all the problems fans are already poking at it, I have said this before as well, and I'm going to say it again here, although it has nothing to do with your question. Normally, the rule of Pokemon is when the games are fantastic, the anime is usually subpar. We've seen that in Gen 7 where the games were great, the anime not so much. We've seen that back in Black and White. The games were great, the anime not so much. I do think we're going to see that happen here. If the games are lackluster like everybody's saying they are so far that's played it, I think the anime is going to be a pretty big deal. I think the anime is going to be what carries the generation. If it is a great game, that's probably a good indicator where the anime is going to go. Like I said, I'm not saying that's going to hold true this time around, but every time around so far, that's been the case. So, Devil, I hope that answered your question. Like I said, as far as replacing Ash, it's a dream of mine. I wish they would have done it. I wish they would have done it at the end of Gen 6, let Ash end his journey there. But since that didn't happen, I do think the time has passed, so I really don't see it happening now. So anyway, Devil, I hope that answered your question. Again, thank you for the question. You're amazing. All right, next we have Grenade Man 1. I love that name, by the way. And Grenade Man, your question is, what is my favorite Pocket Monster spin-off game series? That's got to go to Mystery Dungeon. I'm not sure particularly why I like Mystery Dungeon so much, but I really do. The game has me captivated every time I play it. And yeah, although the game is steeped in controversy for it being repetitive, it's just a nice refresher. I do enjoy Mystery Dungeon. It kind of goes back to focusing on just Pokemon, which is something that I wish the anime and the Pokemon game series, the main series, would do more of, is just focus on the Pokemon. That's what it's about. It's not about the humans. It's not about the real world game story. Let's focus on the Pokemon, and Mystery Dungeon does that really well, although the concept is a bit repetitive, and maybe that's why I enjoyed the game so much. But anyway, Mystery Dungeon has got to be my favorite spin-off for Pokemon as far as a spin-off game series, and Grenade Man, that is the only question you left, so I hope I answered your question. Thank you so much for your comment and everything else. You're amazing. All right, next we have Jet Hawk, and your questions to me, Jet Hawk, were, what is my favorite and more shipping chapter / story arc I have made so far, and what are my top 3? And then you go on to add onto your questions a nice little comment here, and I do want to take a second to thank you for that comment. And your comment was, by the way, I keep watching your fan fiction videos over and over again and love how some of the music is relaxing. It made me go to sleep to hear it. I do want to take a second to thank you, Jet Hawk, because that was a very nice comment. It made my day. It put a smile on my face. You have no idea how much that made my day to hear that. And I'm glad you liked the music selection with these, and I'm glad you liked the fan fiction. I work hard to make sure that the fan fiction is something that fans will enjoy. You know, it's something that I try hard to tell a story that people want to see. And to hear that every once in a while you're getting great feedback. You hear that, it makes your day. So I do want to thank you for that. Now back to your questions on what is my favorite More Shipping chapter / story arc. As a creator, it's hard for me to answer that question because I like all of the fan fiction arc that I put out. I like out all the chapters I put out. As a creator, you love everything that you create. You work hard to hope that others will love it as well. But if you're asking me to create a top 3, it would definitely have to go Tragedy and Domino, Straight to Heart, Dark Ruler. Tragedy and Domino probably at the top of the list. I do love these all, but Tragedy and Domino was one that I put a lot of time in, a lot of thinking about how I could make a story like this, how I could bring a little bit of real-world realism into the story. Tragedy and Domino was really my first time trying real-world situations, real-world experiences as far as being in the emergency medicine field. It was the first time I was able to put those kind of concepts into a story arc, and I really do think that turned out to be one of my better story arcs. And in fact, I'll have to go back and check channel analytics, but right behind Straight to Heart, I do believe Tragedy and Domino is the second highest rated arc that I have ever done. So that should be saying something, and I'm glad that arc went over so well. It took a lot of time for me to come up with the story and be realistic with it, but also combine a bit of real worldism in that, and that's why I like Tragedy and Domino so much. I do like Straight to Heart as well. It's the longest running fan fiction arc on my channel, and to be honest with you guys, Straight to Heart was never intended to go more than maybe 2 or 3 episodes at max. I never thought it was going to go any further than that. But fans kept saying, you have to keep this series going. We love it so much. And the thing I like about Straight to Heart is it's not connected to any of the other stories. It's a standalone. So I kind of get to have a little bit of creative freedom with it every once in a while. I get to do my own thing. I get to come up with my own adventure for my 2 favorite protagonists of the series. It's a relaxing way to kind of go through and just create my own adventure. And that's another reason why Straight to Heart's up there. And of course, Dark Ruler. It added in some new characters that further advanced the story, so it allowed the story to keep expanding. That's why all these are in my top 3, but if you're asking me my favorite, which you are, Tragedy and Domino definitely got to be at the top of the list. So Jethawk, I hope that answered your question. Again, I want to thank you for the nice comment you left. It really made my day, and it left a smile on my face. I really do appreciate it. You're great, and I hope you continue to enjoy the fan fiction. Next, we have Sarah Hardwick. And Sarah, your question to me is, actually, you go on to leave a comment here first before you get into your question. That comment is, hello, Chris. I just watched the latest episode of Truths and Ideals and am enjoying it so far. Keep up the great work. Thank you for that. I really do enjoy the comment. Thank you. It put a smile on my face. So now into your question, Sarah. You asked me that you've seen that I am now on Patreon and you really want to support me there but don't have PayPal. Is there any other ways I can support the channel? So first off, I don't want any of my fans to feel obligated that they have to support me. I do have one patron right now, the Jasmine. He's great. And yeah, he does great in supporting the channel. But, there are other tiers in Patreon as well. But I never obligate anybody to financially support the channel. You don't have to. I do the content for free. But your financial support really does help the channel. It helps me maintain some equipment and get some stuff done. That being said, though, as far as Patreon, if anybody ever wants to support me, that's the main way to do it. I'm never going to do a donation stream. I'm never going to do things like that because I'm not really doing this for the money. I'm doing it as a hobby. As far as Patreon goes, though, and I've actually seen this comment before as far as PayPal, on Patreon, I learned that you don't have to have PayPal to make it work. You can use a debit card. You can do all that other stuff too. There are other ways that you can support your creators on Patreon other than PayPal. You can go on Patreon and kind of view through and get the overview on how you do things. To be honest, I don't have a PayPal either, and I use Patreon all the time to support some creators. I use a personal Patreon for that. I don't use the official channel Patreon for that. But yeah, I do support other creators, and there are other ways to do it other than a PayPal accounts. So Sarah, I hope that answers your question. Like I said, I never obligate anybody to financially donate to this channel. I'm not in it for the money. It's a hobby. I'm glad that everybody enjoys it. I'm flattered that you want to help the channel, but by no means don't you feel obligated. Like I said, on Patreon, you don't have to have PayPal to do it. But again, I'm not begging for financial support. I'm not saying you have to get access to exclusive things. I'm going to do content for you guys regardless, but the financial support really does help out, and I do appreciate the patron that I have, the Jasmine. It's really his contributions really help keep the channel going. But anyway, for those that are interested in Patreon, real quick, I'll go ahead and state this real quick. On my Patreon, there are 3 tiers. There's Pikachu tier, Pink Devil tier, Night Sky Blade tier, and Firewall Dragon tier. I guess there's 4 tiers. And you can donate anywhere from $1 to $20. I don't ask for much. And again, I'm not obligating anybody to do so. That's just information there for Patreon. So anyway, with that being said, Sarah, I'm glad you enjoyed the content. Again, don't feel obligated to donate. Thank you for your comment. You're amazing. All right, next we have Jessica Friedman. And Jessica, your question was, do I think Serena will return for the next anime? And do you think Pokemon will add an LGBTQ character to the anime? And do you think the anime will ever introduce Ash's father? So I guess that was 3 questions wrapped up into one. But great questions, Jessica. Anyway, as far as do I think Serena will return to the next anime, I've seen people speculate that, especially considering 2 of the characters from Sword and Shield have resembled an awful lot like Serena. But of course, we also have to remember that Celine from Sun and Moon also greatly resembled Serena in her short hair. So I think that's probably just a coincidence. As far as her returning to the anime next generation, to be honest, I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, I would think that the way we would see Serena again in the anime would probably be either on her own short episode, her own story episode, or we were going to see her maybe make a surprise appearance to Pallet Town when Ash got back from Alola. That part might still happen, although, you know, that's reaching up into the clouds for a desire. That's a dream want and a hope want, and I'm really hoping they do that. Although it's recently been announced that they've finished production on the Sun and Moon anime, so if that were to be the case, it'd be kind of hard that hadn't leaked out already, but you never know. So anyway, with that, I'm torn. My heart is saying yes, and I want it to happen. My head is saying don't get your hopes up. Probably not very likely, if at all. So I hope that answered your question. I hate to be a downer, but that's the way I see it on that point. As far as your question on the LGBTQ comment on wanting a character in the Pokemon anime that way, and before I answer this question, I do just want to put this out there. I support everybody. I support everybody's choices. Personally, though, I don't see Pokemon doing that, and I don't see Japan doing it. And here's the main reason why. Although here in America, people have grown to accept it, and people don't have a problem with it, over in Japan, they have an ancient tradition, an ancient culture, and it really hasn't changed much over the last 2,000 years, their culture. And over there, it's not quite as accepted as it is here, to put it lightly. And, you know, over there, it's not much of an issue because tradition is what dictates over there. And from that being said, with Pokemon originating from Japan, with it not being a big part of their culture, if even mentioned at all in their culture over there, I'm skeptical it would ever happen in Pokemon. Unless, of course, you know, TPCI wanted to do some creative reworking and re-editing of the anime for a Western audience, but they have yet to majorly rewrite the anime to make that happen, and I doubt they'd ever do that because, you know, Pokemon Company would instantly, you know, pull their rights to the anime almost instantly if they ever did that. So Jessica, like I said, although I personally don't have a problem with it, and it's a culture over here in the West that's becoming more familiar and people are okay with it over here, over in Japan, not so much. So I don't ever see that happening. And then your third question is, do I think the anime will ever introduce Ash's father? It's possible, not very likely. they actually did interview a Pokemon anime person from way back in Gen 1 a long time ago and asked him the prospect of Ash's father ever appearing in the anime. And basically, he's said it could happen, but if it did happen, it would essentially be the end of Ash's journey. So with that being said, and I don't remember exactly where that interview link was. I know I retweeted it years ago, so I'd have to check my Twitter on that. So somebody can go back and recheck Twitter for that. But anyway, with that being said, even though this said person's not on the show anymore, I do have to agree, if we ever saw Ash's father in the anime, it would probably mark the end of Ash's run as the main protagonist. So in the future, it could be possible if they ever do end Ash's run. But in the near term, I don't see that happening because it just leaves so many questions. And although I think it'd be a great concept, a great storyline, and a great plot that Pokemon has never touched on, I don't see them tackling this big plot anchor anytime soon. So anyway, Jessica, I hope that answered your question. Again, thank you for the comment. And you're amazing, and I hope you have a great day. All right, next up we have and this is actually the last one I see, John Escow. And your questions are, well, actually, you go on to say to me that you hope that I'm having a good day and a good summer. I am having a good day and a good summer. Thank you, John, very much. It means a lot. So now into your questions. Your first question is, do I play Banjo-Kazooie games before, or have I? And my thoughts on Banjo-Kazooie and Smash Bros. Ultimate is the third DLC fighter in Fighters Pass. I've never played Banjo-Kazooie, so I have no opinion on that as far as what the game is like or what my thoughts could be on it as Smash Bros. Ultimate, although I have seen the DLC and I have fought Banjo-Kazooie before. I think it's an annoying character personally, but I've never played the game before, so no concept or no context for that. So I hope that answers your question. Again, I'm not bashing anybody that loves that game, but Banjo-Kazooie I thought was annoying as far as a third DLC fighter in Fighters Pass. So anyway, next up, your next question is, after the backlash of Sword and Shield recently about the few things the game, do I think it's going to affect the future of Pokemon series, and a few things you'd want to improve in the future. So the backlash of Sword and Shield, and I recently did a video on this in PokeTalk, and basically I think that the controversy that Shield and Sword is having right now is really a lot to do with nothing. I think that a lot of it has to do with fans having their expectations too high, and when Game Freak can't deliver on those high expectations, of course it's going to be automatically a controversy. But again, Mr. Masuda said it best when the game was first in development: don't get expectations too high. That's exactly what happened, and I do think that is a lot of Sword and Shield's controversy. Myself, I'm waiting to actually play the game for myself before I make an opinion on that, on whether it's bad or it's good, or, I'm indifferent right now. I'm going to wait till I play the game to make a formal opinion on that. So as far as the backlash on Sword and Shield recently, I don't think it's going to affect the future of Pokemon. Let's be honest, Pokemon is a giant. It's a Goliath. And no matter, I've seen these hashtag boycott Pokemon things going around. It's not going to happen. Pokemon is a multi-billion-dollar franchise with a hold on an entire generation, even generations that didn't grow up with it. Pokemon is a Goliath, and it's safe to assume that Pokemon's not going to be hurt by this at all. They've faced backlashes before, and they've always gotten back up, and they've pleasantly surprised or they've pleasantly disappointed, depending on the point of view. But no, I don't see this affecting Pokemon in any way, shape, or form. As far as things I would want to improve in the future, like I said right now, the biggest improvement I could give to Pokemon, my biggest piece of advice I could give to Pokemon, get the Rotom Dex out of the freaking game. I hate the concept. I didn't like it in Sun and Moon. I didn't like it then. I don't like it now. And I'm angry as heck that concept is coming back. I thought it was annoying as heck. And that would be my biggest improvement, and probably the only one I would give them right now. Take out the annoying Rotom Dex. And of course, in the future, put back in Mega Evolution and Z moves. I understand they're wanting to focus on a new dynamic, but at the same time, they've gotten all of these big things here that they could expand on, they could imply more into, and they're not going to touch it. They're basically like, okay, in the trash. It's not going to hurt to have those concepts in the game, but like I said, those are the two big improvements I would do. Put those back in there. As far as, like I said, the Pokemon Home downloading and the National Dex, those two things don't really upset me very much. I can understand Pokemon Home not wanting to transfer games that aren't in a game already into a game. That just, in hindsight, I was disappointed about it. But at the same time, I can understand it. As far as the National Dex goes, change is not a bad thing. There's risk in change, don't get me wrong, but as far as I'm concerned, the National Dex, it's something you can do without. But replacing it with the Rotom Dex, please no. So anyway, John, I hope that answered your question. As far as that, Sword and Shield, I don't think the backlash is going to affect it. I don't think the controversy will affect it. As far as changes and improvements, get rid of the Rotom Dex. Replace it with the National Dex if you have to. And, of course, bring back Mega Evolution and Z-Moves in the near future. Like I said, with everything that's going on with this game, and, of course, it being the first one on the Switch, I can understand where some of this controversy is coming from. But, again, I think it goes back to the whole not getting your expectation too high thing, and I really do think that's what Shield and Sword was, unfortunately, a victim of. All right, and your third and final question is, what are my predictions on Ash's Galar team based on Pokemon in the Galar region we got so far, or wait until more revealed or before game launches in the anime show-off? So right now, I can give probably a half prediction. I'm not going to go probably more than 3, maybe 4 Pokemon in a team just because, it's early, we haven't gotten a whole lot. It's safe to assume that Ash's team is going to include Pikachu. It's probably going to be Corviknight, the awesome-looking bird here, my favorite one that we've gotten so far because Ash always gets a bird in the Pokemon world. So, yeah, those two are a given. As far as the starter, because he always ends up with at least one of the starters, I think that Ash is probably going to end up with Scorbunny this time around because he didn't get a fire starter in XY. He did get the fire starter of Sun and Moon, but that, of course, was later on, and it felt really forced, and it was more of the Pokemon wanting to be with Ash more than the other way around. I do think that we're going to see Scorbunny end up in Ash's team because I feel of the 3 starters of the Galar region, that is the one that fits. And as far as the team prediction, that's all I'm going to leave it at there for now. One bird, Corviknight, which is an awesome-looking bird, and I really want Ash to get it, and he always gets a bird anyway. And then, of course, we've got for a starter, because he always gets one of the starters, I'm going to go with Scorbunny. Of course, Pikachu's going to be there, but as far as that, that's all I'm willing to say on a Galar team prediction right at the moment. We'll just have to wait and see what the rest of his team looks like, and of course, if my prediction on Scorbunny and Corviknight are right or wrong. So anyway, John, those were your questions. Again, thank you so much for the questions and for the likes and subscribe and everything. You are amazing. And again, I want to take a second to thank everybody for their comments here, their questions. It really means a lot to see the interaction. I do enjoy reacting with you guys and interacting with you guys. You guys are all amazing and awesome. Thanks for everything. And again, everybody, like always, I will see you with the next hashtag AskTemplar74 in December. So with that being said, everybody, that's it for now. Templar74 signing off. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll talk to you all next time. Goodbye, everybody. Again, thank you for everything. You guys are amazing. Goodbye, everybody. Hey, everyone. Templar74 here. Did you enjoy the video? Do you want to help support me in making more content like this and see your name here at the end of every video? Then consider supporting me on Patreon. Any help is greatly appreciated and will help ensure continuation and increase the quality of production of the videos that I'm able to make for all of you. Link down below. Again, thank you so much for your support and for liking and subscribing. You all are amazing. And as always, everyone, Templar74 signing off. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll talk to you all next time. Goodbye, everybody.